This week I want to reference or relate to something that I would call the humility of not being clear, the humility of not knowing. And I'll introduce that in Parashat Chukat through the red heifer, the red cow, the para-aduma. It is a chok, a statute we translate it as. And the rabbis of the Talmud talk about the chok as the mitzvah whose reason, whose understanding, whose purpose is far from us. We are allowed, we're told, to look at the reasons behind mitzvot. We might not know why God commanded a specific commandment, but to look at its purpose in our world is fine. Whereas with the chok, the statute of the red heifer, again, an animal that is slaughtered, whose ashes are put into water, and this solution is used over a long period of time to purify the kohen, the priest, who undertakes the offerings in the temple. So in many ways, the issue behind the chok, the statute of the red cow, the red heifer, is its contradictory nature. On the one hand, it purifies the individual who becomes impure by contact with dead animals. On the other hand, the individual who actually gives, who sprinkles this solution on the other priest himself becomes impure by using this purifying solution. So there's some internal contradiction to this mitzvah, even although we understand the function of it, what it exactly does. And I think there's something to looking at contradiction as a part of life, as something that we face in life, and that at the same time it's okay to relate to contradiction. That not everything that we look at in life and try to understand will appear to us in absolute clarity. King Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech, says, we're told, about the para-aduma, the red heifer, that it was distant from his wisdom. His wisdom, chokhmah, is a wisdom that allowed him clarity. A famous example of Solomon's wisdom is the story of the two mothers who argue over whose is a baby. And his answer is to try and root out the woman whose baby it isn't, is to cut the baby. At which point, of course, the real mother says, no, you shouldn't do that. That was clear cut for him. For Shlomo, for Solomon, wisdom meant being absolutely clear. I'm not sure any of us would have given that answer to the mothers, and any of us would have conscienced the possibility that this baby might actually have that done to it. It might not have been as clear. So for most people, contradiction in the way we look at life, difference is really there and represented in this chok, this statute. The Torah is a way of life. The Torah is a bridge between us and God. The Torah can, for us as a people, give us clarity. Just as in other religions, there will be texts and ways of life that will give clarity too. But that won't always be the case. There will be situations, dynamics, relationships with our world, which won't be totally clear. And in my mind, that's okay. That does not diminish our love for our own Torah as a document, a God-given work that is historic in the sense that it spans our history. It doesn't diminish that for me. It only bids us to understand that in our world, contradiction can exist. Shabbat Shalom.